In this video I'm going to show my in-game HUD setup, and this was probably about the only time where I kind of needed to use some external scripting. And the reason for that is because the default UDK Kismet nodes that you can use to um, draw stuff on screen doesn't really allow for resolution changes. Which is quite important. So if you want to set up your HUD on a specific resolution and have it carry through to a completely different resolution, then Kismet can't by default just handle that. So what I needed to do was get basically this. This is actually a little tutorial on how to set this up. It's part of the UDK gems, and this is the address where you can get this. But right at the bottom here, you can download that script. So I'm not really interested in learning scripting. I don't script at all. So I just downloaded this and added it to my scripts so that I can use these nodes, and these nodes have much more extended functionality compared to the default Kismet stuff. So with that said, one of the main things that I needed to do was get a health bar that will actually update. As you lose health, the bar will shrink. As you get health, the bar will grow. And that was different from setting up the player lives, which essentially I just do an image swap. I have an image for each life, I guess, and I just swap it out. If when you lose lives, but the health bar actually needed to animate. So to get that to work, I have this material set up, and it's a pretty straightforward setup. It just interpolates between this is the main image and with the red bar in it, and then I overlap the green bar on top of it, and I essentially use alpha to basically just blend the green bar away. So the way I do that is I have this black and white image. It's essentially a white image with a thin black line on the side, and I just move that image across using the UV detection node, and this image is also set up not to tile. So because it doesn't tile, that black just extends to the right there. So if I move this image to the left, it'll essentially create a black space on the right. So the way I move the image across is just by changing the texture coordinate. And the reason why I have these extra nodes in here is just because there's an offset there. So my image doesn't extend from 0 to 1 there. It actually has a bit of a gap there because of the health icon there. So I have to just add that offset in there. So that's what that is doing. And then I have to just flip it around so that it works from right to left instead of from left to right. So essentially I need 1 to be 0 and 0 to be 1 for my final calculation in Kismet. And that's basically it. And then I just add it back into the so I just pen that, and you have to pen that because your texture coordinate node is a 2-channel. It's a X and a Y, or that translates to U and V. And so in this one you also need R and G, and in this one you also need an R and a G. So just append the G with a 0 there. then you can add these two together, and that'll make it work. So just to show how that works, so if I got 50% health, it's 0.5, it jumps to there, go right to the end, 0.1, 0. So that's essentially how that works. And then I control this parameter, scalar parameter, directly through Kismet. Okay, so the Kismet side of it. So this is where I calculate the actual health value, and I needed to do just a little bit of a special calculation because I need the value to run between 0 and 1 and not 0 and 100 or whatever, whatever the health is. So I just have to convert that in here. So anytime my player gets damaged, I update this, and this essentially is what updates that material. So I get the current health value, and you get it as an integer. You can't actually get that value as a float, so you get it as an integer, and then I cast it to a float. And then because my health actually runs between 0 and 300, and the reason for that I'll just mention quickly again. I would have mentioned it really early on when I showed my character setup in one of my very early videos. The reason is just I need to keep my health always above 0 because my pawn essentially never dies. I just do all that stuff myself. I don't have this scripting that's in place to take care of when my pawn dies, so I have to actually always keep my pawn alive. So I actually run my health essentially 200 above default values. So if I happen to apply damage that is very large amount of damage and I have a very little amount of health left, I can always keep it above 0. So to calculate my value, I need to take away from my current health, which if I have full health will be 300. I need to get it to a smaller value, so I need to get it from 0 to 100. So I subtract 200, so now it's 0 to 100, and then I divide by 100, and that gives me the final 0 to 1 value that I want. And then I apply that directly with the set scalar parameter node to my material instance, which that's my base material that we looked at before, and there's the instance for it. So so that just updates that value, and that'll update the HUD for me. And then I think in the next video I will show how I actually draw the HUD. That's all this stuff here. Just to keep the videos a little bit shorter. So in the next video I'll show how I actually draw the HUD.